Hello and welcome to another English podcast with Paul. I'm your host, Paul, and today we're talking about food and food festivals around the world. There are so many different festivals around the world that get involved with food. One of them is, let me just go back and look. The famous food fight in Spain with tomatoes, La Tomatania, in Bunol, Spain, around the end of August. The tomato is without a doubt the most famous food fight in the world. Well, okay. The Valencian battle brings in 10,000 brave warriors willing to become covered head to toe in the fleshy, overripened tomatoes. The festival began in the early 1940s when two men began throwing tomatoes in a political protest, and the tradition still survives today. I think what I read earlier was that it was stopped in 1950s, but there was a protest from the town, and because it was very famous for growing tomatoes, they stopped growing them, or they buried and ruined their tomatoes in protest of not being allowed to have their tomato fight. So that was in 1950s, and then apparently in 1957 it was allowed to commence again. Now, one of the other things that I read was that the streets get so red with tomatoes that the acid in the tomatoes actually cleans the streets. Now, apparently it's only supposed to be for like an hour or so, and then people get showered off, cleaned off, and they use firefighters and fire engines to clean all the streets. So yeah, that's supposed to be really good. Brings in thousands and thousands of people, as you'd imagine, to the town. The other one is La Meringue, La Merenga, Valiana Iliagletro, Spain. So apparently in Spain, and it's called I think locally it's called like the candy fight, where children are allowed to take the day off and throw meringues. So I don't know whether these are whipped up before or soft or what, but it's very famous. They're also known, so commence at the end of Lent, known as Fat Thursday. How cool is that, a Fat Thursday? Where you can eat loads and loads of crap. Sorry, loads and loads of rubbish. The day-long food fight is known as the Battaglia de Calemos, which literally means candy fight. Ah, okay. It's also preceded with like a brass band and lots of music and stuff in the background, and it goes on for hours apparently. Wow, interesting. Flor wax glacier gris. Before carnival season transforms in the beginning of the Greek Orthodox tradition of Lent, locals in the fishing village of Galaxidia hold a unusual celebration, the annual Flower War. It's a street battle which brings both domestic and international visitors to the coastal region of West Athens. Hundreds of bags are filled with baking flour tinted with food colouring. And once the cowbell rings, young and old, everybody's all out throwing stuff. They don protective goggles, suit up in their shields and shield up their homes with sheeting before the flower flies, and you can watch from a safe distance nearby. That sounds very interesting. That one reminds me very much of Cambodia. So there's two main festivals in Cambodia, specifically in Siem Reap, where we have the Water Festival, which is great. I've got a video on it. Click on the link for the water video. And then there's also, what's the other festival? So that's the Water Fight Festival, but then there's another festival where they do boat races and they go up and down the rivers and things like that. And then there was another one where they put loads of like these like Chinese lanterns into the water, but they were on boats and they sell those down as well. So there's quite a few big things going on in Cambodia. Also here, I think in the UK, we have this cheese rolling festival where I think a load of men and women get to the top of this really steep field, and it's quite a high incline, and they roll a cheese down, and all the men run after it, chase after it, and all fall down trying to get this cheese. It sounds bizarre and crazy, like a lot of these food fights. All right, and then there's the World Custard Pie Championships, Championship, Coxhead in England. Okay, So in June, it might sound like a laugh, but in English, held pie off boasts some old, solid competition, the brainchild of Charlie Chaplin back in 1967. Wow, Charlie Chaplin, eh? Hey! The tradition lives on to this day in serious fashion. Teams of 4, sometimes venturing from overseas just to participate, dress in identical fancy dress and take turns pegging delicious homemade custard pies at the opposition. Points are tallied up where on the body the pie lands. The big 6-pointer is obviously a pie to the face. Points are deducted for a miss, so aim true. All right, I can't say I ever heard of this one. It sounds like it could be painful if you get a pie to the face. That sounds a little bit harsh, maybe a bit of crust or something in your eye. That sounds a bit painful. There we go. So I didn't know anything about that one. All right. What else do we have? So we have a lot of other things in the UK, silly competitions. Just for example, there's one of bicycle. The Brompton Bicycle has a speed race of how quick you can set up this bicycle, put it back down again, and then race off this track or this journey. But that's not food related. Then we've got the Bean Festival in Japan, February. The Bean Throwing Festival marks the beginning of the Japanese spring because of its timing, the Lunar New Year. Some see the event as similar to New Year's Eve or a new star. Wow, okay, that sounds interesting. A roasted soybean, thought to be arch nemesis of the evil spirit. So sometimes even at fellow family members, fun, lots of beans are eaten too in order to bring health and good fortune. Wow, that's really good. That's really good. Wow. Sometimes I guess you think it might be a waste of food, but as in many cases like Shrove Tuesday and things like this, it's generally food that's left over or food that's going off. So having a food fight is not the end of the world, is it, I guess? Right, what else have we got here? Other food fights. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you have a food fight festival in your country? Is there other kind of crazy competitions in your country where, if not food, other silly things happen, you know, just for fun? Excuse me. It'd be really interesting to find out what's very popular, what's talked about a lot, and what's very, very fun. Okay, what else we got? Olivia Livens. Okay. So I can't find anything else here on the internet right now, but yeah, I'm just having a quick look, see what else. So that's Spain. That's Spain again. Food fight around the world. Mostly that one comes up for Spain. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know about your country, what things they celebrate in regards to food, whether you have, because also here we often have food festivals where it might be maybe just vegan food or just organic food, or sometimes even like a street fair just of food, and sometimes they'll have some other entertainment as well, maybe some music and things like that, where people can come in from all over to look at the fair. One that I remember is in Wales, in Cardiff, they have a big food fair, and there you can buy like German sausages and foreign cheeses and wines and things like that. So that's really popular. Yeah, and often, like I said, vegans and vegan festivals, vegan food or organic food, things like that. So that happens a lot here in the UK as well. We have these food festivals. They're not really that crazy or exciting, but yeah, I like that. I like that idea of, you know, the community to coming together, having fun, doing interesting things. But yeah, what other things do you think that your country does for morale and to bring the country together? You know, do you have lots and lots of fireworks? Do you have lots and lots of music festivals? You know, I talked briefly before about the carnival floats. That brings a lot of people out. A lot of people come out for that. But it's not just about the carnival. It's about about morale and making everybody happy and cheerful. You know, so similar things happen to, what was I going to say then? Yeah, just morale really, getting lots of people out, and the government pay for some of this. I mean, another way you can look at that would be like the Olympics, and that, and then you got like things like film festivals. What else you got? Well, other festivals like real big music festivals and music gigs. There's like in the UK we have also Boardmasters, where lots of people come together and apparently they're supposed to watch like surfing and skateboarding and you know, activities where it's a bit of a sport. But I think that's comes second nature to the music. So that's the main thing that we have in our country for entertainment really, and morale building and things like that. So yeah, it'd be really nice to know what you have in your country and what you like to do to bring people together, bring the country together. And also on a personal level, in your household, what do you do in your house to have a good time? What celebrations? You know, not just the religious celebrations, baptisms and things like that, and marriages and funerals, but what other happy occasions do you guys have to bring people together? I really would like to know. Let me know in the comments. So yeah, just a short one for today. Let me know what you think in the comments. If there's other topics you'd like us to look into, then let me know. But as always, have fun listening. If you don't have fun, you're not going to learn. Have fun learning. Okay. Yeah, you know what I mean. Take care and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.